Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Robbie.G Show podcast. That's right. And if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you and to these celebrities who share a birthday with you today, Friday, February 23rd, 2024. Dakota Fanning turns 30. Actor Josh Gad turns 43. Actor Aziz Ansari turns 41. Shark Tank host and entrepreneur Damon John turns 55. And basketball players Andrew Wiggins turns 28. And so does D'Angelo Russell, who also turns 28 today. So happy birthday to those celebrities, all the celebrities out there that I didn't mention, and of course to all of you if today is your birthday. We got a great show lined up for you today. I got a lot to talk about. Daytona 500. There was a surprise guest that I didn't know was a race car driver. We'll talk about that. And then I also will be talking NBA All-Star Game. WWE Elimination Chamber is tomorrow. Cubs and Sox reported to Mesa and to Arizona. Connor Bedard has been on fire since being back. And then entertainment-wise, we got the People's Choice winners. We're going to talk about a concert that I saw that's going to be in Kentucky. That's going to be amazing. And then I got my top 10 list coming up at the end of the show. So we got a big packed show, so let's get into it. First thing we're going to talk about is the NFL Draft. That's right, we are 2 months away from the NFL Draft. Free agency starts next month, actually in a few weeks, in the first week of March. But the NFL Draft is the big thing that everybody's talking about. We already talked last week about NFL free agents that are going to be on the market starting around March 5th. But we haven't talked about the NFL Draft yet and who's going to be out there for all the teams and who I think will end up on the Chicago Bears. So let's go into that right now. So as everybody knows, the top pick in the draft via the Carolina Panthers, who had the worst record in the NFL, last year they traded the Chicago Bears in a haul package to get the number 1 draft pick to draft Bryce Young, who ended up doing absolutely nothing for them this year, was the Chicago Bears. They traded DJ Moore, their number 1 pick for this year, and I believe a number 2 for next year. There was like a few draft picks in there and everything. But so that puts the Chicago Bears in the driver's seat again with the number 1 draft pick 2 years in a row. Last year they traded it for a haul. This year we're not sure what the Bears are going to do. Number 2 is the Washington Commanders. Number 3 in the draft is going to be the New England Patriots. And then I believe Arizona Cardinals, and then so on and so forth all the way through the draft. Bears also have a number 9 pick of their own for where they finish the season. So the Bears are sitting pretty with 2 top 10 draft picks this year. Most likely, if the Chicago Bears decide to trade that pick away, they're going to most likely trade to either New England or Washington. Now, it could be anybody else too, but the point of the trade is Washington is going to want that first slot to try to get the quarterback of their choice. There is a few quarterbacks, of course, that are on this list. Caleb Williams, everybody knows from USC. He was in his sophomore year. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. Last year, his junior year, didn't play as well as he did in his sophomore year, and I don't believe he was even really in consideration for that Heisman Trophy this year. But Williams has been one of college football's top playmakers for 3 years. He is always a threat to advance the ball with his arms and legs. NFL covets quarterbacks who can create on their own. No one does that better than Caleb Williams. We're going to see, of course, the draft combine is next week. A lot of this could change because of right now him being the number 1 prospect. That could change after the combine. The combine is where all the scouts go to watch the players do different drills and see what they can do on the field and everything, and that can change their approach of who they're going to go for with their pick. So right now Caleb Williams is number 1, but he may not be after the combine, depending on how they're going to look at his stats for the season, but they're also going to look at his combine going into the NFL. So we'll see next week. That's going to be an interesting week. It starts Thursday, It's going to be a crazy, crazy weekend for the NFL with the Combine. Number 2 on the list, Marvin Harrison Jr., a wide receiver. Obviously, everybody knows his dad, Marvin Harrison, who was on the Super Bowl winning Indianapolis Colts that beat my Chicago Bears in 2006. Marvin Harrison, a great wide receiver, Hall of Famer, and his son, a generational talent is what they're calling him. They're calling that to Caleb Williams, too, at quarterback. So we'll see if it pans out. But I think Marvin Harrison has a higher ceiling because of who his dad is. And I think that because he was helped being trained by his dad, I think he is going to be that generational wide receiver that everybody's talking about. We're going to see. It says, imagine if former Colts legend Marvin Harrison Sr. was 4 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier. That's a good way to explain his son as a prospect. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s technique is beyond his years. He has a lead body control, reliable hands, and a wide receiver one athletic ability. Obviously, being the namesake of Marvin Harrison is going to help him, but I don't think he needs that. I have watched this kid play for Ohio State against Michigan, which is my team, and he is an amazing wide receiver. And I don't care if you're a Wolverines fan or not, if you cannot accept the fact that he could be a Chicago Bear, I don't know what to tell you. This kid is awesome. This kid's amazing. I don't care where he played in college. If the Bears have a chance to get him, I was a fan of Justin Fields coming here, even though he was from Ohio State. It didn't bother me. I'd have taken C.J. Stroud. I don't care about that. I don't like them on the field when they play Michigan. Once they go into the pros, if you're good and you want to come to Chicago, you are more than welcome in my book, and I will buy your jersey. Not your Ohio State jersey, but I'll buy your pro jersey. Number 3 on this list, Drake May, QB out of North Carolina. May possesses ideal NFL arm talent. He can hit just about any throw asked of him at the pro level with velocity and ball placement. He still puts the ball in harm's way with more turnovers than you'd like, but the magnitude of the good he can do as a passer far outweighs the bad. Here's the thing that my take on this when it comes to turnovers, and a lot of people disagree with this. I don't care. You can email me if you disagree with this, or follow me on socials and you can talk to me on there. But honestly, turnovers do not always matter if you're winning. If your team is winning out there, because everybody believes that wins and losses go on a quarterback, which I don't fully believe in. But I get where they're coming from. You are the leader of the team. Turnovers, depending on if you're winning or losing, can make a difference. Okay, if you're losing, of course, and you threw a pick at the end of a game, yeah, you're going to get crucified for that. We all know this. Okay, but if you're winning and you throw 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, do those interceptions matter if you're winning games? You know, Brett Favre, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time for the Packers, and one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, had a ton of picks in his career. A ton. Almost as many interceptions as he did touchdowns. But he said at the end of the day, they were winning divisions. They were getting into the playoffs. They won a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Look at Josh Allen. Not the greatest when it comes to turnovers, but he wins. He gets to the playoffs and he wins divisions. This is what counts in the NFL. Fans only care about your turnovers when you lose. They don't care about your turnovers when you win. If you throw 1 to 2 picks a game, but you're winning, and you're throwing 3 to 4 touchdowns in a game, I can forgive your interceptions. Now, if your interception comes at a crucial time and you lose because of it, even if you threw 4 touchdowns and 2 picks, that 1 pick was at a bad time. That's just how it goes in the NFL. And that's just how it is. Let's go on with the list here. Number 4, wide receiver Malik Nabers from LSU. It says, turn on the tape and it won't take long to realize Nabers moves differently than his peers. His body control and route running potential are already good enough to stand out in the pros. He's a future focal point of an NFL passing attack. I like Malik Nabers. If we can't get Marvin Harrison, I'll talk about the different scenarios the Bears have in the draft after I go through a few more of these names. But Malik Nabers, I would take. And there's one more coming up that I would take also. I'm only going to go through about 10 of these because I might go through the list and see if there's a few more. But really, your top 10 is what you got to look for if you're in the top 10 in drafting, which the Bears are 1-9, so they have a chance at 2 of these picks, depending on if they trade to a team that's a little further back. So we'll go over that. Let's see. Number 5, tackle Joe Alt from Notre Dame. And this is a position that we do need on the offensive line. At 6'8", Alt brings elite size to offensive tackle. He's been even better this year at using that size and length to his advantage, yet he maintains technique with leverage to mitigate any natural weaknesses. He's a good tackle. I've watched tape on this kid. He will make a difference on any offensive line he goes to, and he will make that difference from day one as a rookie. Definitely need to look at the offensive line. He will be gone somewhere probably in the top 10, so Bears, have a shot at getting him. But like I said, we're going to go over a few scenarios that the Bears have that could alter who they draft. Let's see, number 6, we don't need this. In my eyes, this is not a important position that we need to utilize right now in a draft, especially with 2 top 10 picks. Tight end Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Bowers has been the best tight end in college football over the past 2 seasons. He might not get picked as early as Kyle Pitts, but many think he's a better prospect because of what he could do as a blocker in addition to his receiving ability. Now, could we use a blocking tight end? Yes, we could. But at the same time, I think we have more holes that we need filled in the top 10 that can make a difference on offense and possibly on defense if we can do it. But let's see, number 7. Here's another receiver that I would like if we can't get Marvin Harrison Jr. Wide receiver Rome Odunze from Washington. Odunze brings top-tier speed, size, and strength to the receiver position. He has consistently dominated at the catch point this season and can reportedly run 4.3 to 4.4 at around 215 pounds. Definitely a big receiver that we would love to have on the other side of... oh my gosh, I just brain farted. DJ Moore, sorry. And because right now all we really have is DJ Moore. We also have, of course, our tight end Cole Kmet. So I think we're good there. But you do need a few more receivers. But there is a way to get 2 more receivers, one as a rookie and one as a veteran. And that's through free agency. Few good ones that we talked about last week. I wouldn't mind having a T. Higgins here. I think he would be a good fit as a number 2 receiver or as a slot receiver, depending on who we draft. That's going to be up in the air with the offense, who they're going to have. I'm sure there's going to be a fight for those 3 positions, so we'll see where they go. Number 8, not as important for us, but it's quarterback Cooper DeJean from Iowa. DeJean is one of the most well-rounded athletes in college football. He could play outside corner, he could play slot corner, and even safety due to his size, 6'1" and 205 pounds, and speed combo. He also has some of the best ball skills of any defensive back in the class. He's one of the draft's top playmakers. I don't think we're needing that as much. I mean, our corners, we could always get somebody in free agency or later on in the draft. These aren't necessarily all going to go in the top 10. Obviously, there's other players that may meet needs of other teams, so these guys could fall into the second round. This is just where they are on here. Number 9 is tackle Amlanuda. I don't even know how to say this dude's name. From Penn State. He's one of the smoothest movers we've seen in pass protection since Tyron Smith and Joe Thomas. His tenacity in the run game could be better, but he's a dream offensive tackle prospect for what he can do as a pass blocker, which is a big thing we need. We could use a run blocker, but we definitely need a pass blocker to give Justin Fields or whoever else it's going to be a little more time in the pocket. Now, I know Justin Fields held the ball a while, but if he had better blocking, he wouldn't be scrambling around like crazy and missing open guys. So we could always use better tackles and stuff on the offensive line. And then number 10 is DI, it's Javon Newton from Illinois. Newton, an all-around interior defensive lineman, is productive as both a run defender and a pass rusher. His overall size is on the smaller side, but his first step and elite hand speed allow him to live in backfields. Defensive line is definitely a need of ours, but I definitely want to get a real edge rusher before we do anything else. I think our line's pretty decent. I think that our secondary could use a little more work, obviously. Linebacker core, I think pretty much set. I think we're good at linebackers. Edmonds and Edwards were a huge pickup for us. That's good. Maybe one more, maybe like a middle linebacker or something, but not in the draft. I would go maybe free agency for that. Get some veterans in there if you're not going to stick with who you got at middle linebacker now. Number 11, we got Jaden Daniels, another good quarterback out of LSU. Daniels is a dual threat quarterback who has tons of yards from scrimmage. Last year, he focused on taking care of the ball and had one of the lowest turnover-worthy play rates in the nation. This year, he's focused on playing better under pressure while pushing the ball downfield more often. And he's done both at career-high levels. His growth in all areas is encouraging and shows that he could be a QB to invest in. I would be happy with him, too, depending on how we go with the quarterback route. Let's see. Here's one that I want to look at if you're the Bears from Alabama. Edge Dallas Turner. Turner entered 2023 as one of the class best speed rushing 3-4 outside linebackers. But this year he looks like he has bulked up a bit and to add new strength to his game and solidify his first round status. He's going to be good. I would look at him at number 9. And let's see. I think that's pretty much it that I'm going to look at. Well, actually, I got 2 more. Hold on. I don't think this guy's going to go in the first round, but he might. Cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. McKinstry has shut down CB1 potential. For schemes that rely on more man coverage, he's very comfortable playing in press and with his back to the ball. Plus, he has one of the highest forced incompletion totals in the country over the past 2 seasons. I would look at him for a second round. I wouldn't look at him for the first round, but I would possibly look at him, not just because his name is cool. Kool-Aid, that's pretty cool. But you could always use another corner all the time. So depending on what we get in the first round and what we get through free agency, remember, free agency comes before the draft. So sometimes you could get a better thing out of the first round. And then my last one that I want to look at is, actually I just found one more. QB Michael Penix Jr. Penix is a bit of a college football journeyman, but is lighting up the scoreboard in 2023. His combination of experience and high-end arm talent is propelling him. He has a bit of an unorthodox throwing style from his lower body mechanics to his throwing motion, but can sling it. He'd be a good possible project. And then we got QB Bo Nix out of Oregon. Overwhelming Bo Nix we knew from Auburn seems long gone. Nowadays, Nix is as good as dual threat athlete with a legit NFL arm. Most importantly, he's playing much better under pressure, even if it isn't pressured as often. He does have a really good offensive line, which is something that he could struggle with in Chicago if he became a Bear, because we know our offensive line isn't good. But if we improve our line, then there's a good chance. And then I'm looking for one more, but he's very low on the list. Actually, I don't even need it. I watched him all year. J.J. McCarthy, good quarterback. I don't think J.J. McCarthy goes in the first round. I am a huge Michigan Wolverine fan, but I don't think he goes in the first round. I just don't. He's good, but I don't think he's good enough for that. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this class that I would take over McCarthy. Obviously, Caleb Williams, he is number 1 in the nation for a reason, as of now, before next week with the Combine. But I would definitely take a look at even Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Drake May. These are all guys that I would look at if the Bears are going quarterback. Now, the Bears have a couple different options. with what they can do. Number one, they have to decide, is Justin Fields the guy for next year? If he's the guy, then you know what you're doing with the number one pick. You're either going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. with number one, which would throw off the entire NFL. Because I don't think anybody's expecting the number one pick to be a wide receiver. And it would be great if the Bears did it. We all know if the Bears are going to stick with Justin Fields, they are going for Marvin Harrison Jr. That is hands down what they're going to do. But are they going to do it with the number one pick? Because if I'm the Bears and I know I have leverage, and you know that draft quarterback class is stacked, obviously Washington and New England prefer, most likely as of now, depending on what happens at the combine, everybody wants Caleb Williams if they're going to draft a quarterback. People will fight for Caleb Williams. Now, will people take a Drake May at number 2? Or the second guy gone as a quarterback? Of course. Drake May is amazing. He's just as good, I think, as Caleb Williams. Maybe better than Caleb Williams. Could Bo Nix be as good? Could Michael Penix Jr. be as good? Yeah, they could. But obviously the number one pick of quarterbacks is most likely going to be Caleb Williams. It's either going to be to the Bears or Washington or New England. One of those two teams will trade the Bears for a haul. All I want is your number 2 pick from Washington, and then a few extra picks, and then maybe a player if you could throw somebody decent in. We already know we fleeced Washington for Montez Sweat. That was an amazing trade. That was, to me, as good as the DJ Moore trade. Because we got a big defensive guy, and then we also got a big wide receiver with DJ Moore. Ryan Poles has fleeced 2 teams out of 2 really good players. If we could trade and get that number 2 pick for our number 1 pick and let Washington have their pick of quarterback, we could end up with Marvin Harrison Jr. and about 3 or 4 more draft picks from Washington. That would be amazing. If we could maybe squeeze out a first rounder for next year, and let's say Caleb Williams plays for them and chokes, like a lot of people think he might. Generational, yeah, a lot of people are generational. Nobody said Patrick Mahomes was generational, and he was. So usually the guys who they say are generational at quarterback usually aren't. People remember, these same critics who want Caleb Williams to be generational are the same ones who said Mitch Trubisky would be better than Patrick Mahomes. I was hoping he would be, because we ended up with him, but he wasn't. And as much as I love Mitch, and to this day, I still feel that Mitch could have been a better quarterback elsewhere, I think if Mitch would have went to Kansas City, he would have been just as good as Mahomes. Because he would have had Andy Reid. He would have had a staff that knew how to train a quarterback. Because I don't think that Mahomes would have played as Mahomes in Chicago. I really don't. I think Nagy would have killed him in Chicago, just like he did to Mitch Trubisky and to Justin Fields. Nagy could take some... This is why possibly the Chicago Bears may get rid of Justin Fields. Because when Poles came in here, Poles wanted a clean house of anything that Ryan Pace brought in. Coaching staff, players, whatever, unless they were amazing players. He's not going to get rid of amazing just to be a GM that builds his own team. He wasn't. But has Justin been amazing enough for them to keep him? Probably not. So there's a chance that, yes, we could end up with a new quarterback under center next year, and maybe it could be a free agent. Could be somebody like a Kirk Cousins, who's a guaranteed guy that can get you 3,500 to 4,000 yards on a season he doesn't get hurt in, like last year. And believe me, anybody who says he's injury prone, just stop it. It's an Achilles tear. It can happen to anybody. I've worked with people at Amazon that have torn their Achilles at work. It can happen to anybody. Is he a little more susceptible maybe because he's 35? Possibly. But I'll take that risk because if we get a Kirk Cousins, then you do draft a quarterback. But you don't necessarily have to draft at number one. You could draft a quarterback like Bo Nix. You could draft a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. You possibly could even draft a J.J. McCarthy. Because what the Bears need if they draft Kirk Cousins or any veteran quarterback like that, do not draft a quarterback first round. Wait till the second or third round, see who's left, and draft one of them. Because what you're going to need is you got to get him another receiver. Because he's not going to have enough with DJ Moore here. Even though he's a better quarterback and he's a veteran, you still need somebody better. So you're going to have to get a Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to have to draft a Roma Duze, somebody like that. Or go T. Higgins in free agency. If you get somebody like that, I don't think the Bears go veteran, but it would be amazing to have a veteran quarterback with a rookie who he can mold into a quarterback. And this is how Green Bay did it. Rodgers behind Favre, Love behind Rodgers, boom. Good quarterbacks. In New England, Brady behind oh my gosh. See, I'm having brain farts today. Hold on one second. Let me think for a second. So Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe. Was amazing. Alex Smith was in front of Mahomes. There you go. Veteran quarterbacks. You don't have to be great to mold a quarterback. You just have to say, kid, watch me play. Watch my good things. Watch my bad stuff. That's how you become an NFL quarterback. So I would be for that. I don't think the Bears go that route. I don't think they want a veteran. I think they want a rookie who they can get on a cheap rookie deal, like Fields was on, and just throw him out there and say, go out there, kid. Not Tyson Bagent. Bagent won't be. I don't even think Bagent's going to be a Bear. I think for long. I think he'll be here this year, but I don't think he's going to be here for long. I think the Bears could go a route of getting maybe like an older veteran QB to be a backup for their rookie, just in case he gets hurt or something. But I don't think we're going to end up with a big time quarterback. I doubt that's going to happen. So, we'll see what happens. The draft's coming up. Free agency's first. We'll see next week at the Combine what happens. A lot of NFL news coming up we'll be talking about in the next 2 months. But let's move on now. Let's talk about something different. Cubs and Sox report. Not much there. Just wanted to throw that out there. In fact, the Cubs play and Sox play their first game today, but by the time you hear this, it'll be over. But they do also play tomorrow, the Sox, if you're a Sox fan, and I believe the Cubs do tomorrow too. But yeah, so definitely check that out if you're a Cubs and Sox fan. But yeah, the game, you could probably watch the replay tonight. If you're just finding out that the game is tonight, you could watch the replay of it later on tonight if you're a Cubs or Sox fan. I'm sure they'll show it. But nothing major to report. The only big thing is Tim Anderson, the former White Sox player, signed with the Miami Marlins. I'm a huge TA fan. I will still probably wear his Southside jersey that I have because I'm a fan of his, and I'm sad that he's gone. But then again, his stats were not that great last year, so I can see why they had to get rid of him. But at the same time, it's sad to see veterans go, and I believe that you need veterans in there to help the young kids. But obviously, the Sox think differently than I do. But that's okay. Connor Bedard has been back for now about 2 weeks. He's been on fire. He's got a couple goals and a bunch of assists since he's been back. Connor Bedard was great. I did see one thing that made me happy, and this is going to make people scratch their head, but I am glad that the Hawks are last place again, because now we will have the number one draft pick 2 years in a row. And the last time that we were able to get two good draft picks, we got Kane and Taves back-to-back years, and that was when we ended up going on a tear and winning 3 Stanley Cups. So if we can get one more rookie sensation to go with Connor Bedard, and then build around them with some veteran players and maybe some other young rookies, we can make this team almost exactly like the 2010 Chicago Blackhawks. Not as good as them. I don't think we're ever going to have a Hawks team as good as they were, but it would still be great to see us win a championship. But yeah, Connor Bedard's back. I'm happy with the rookie year that he's had so far, and he's only got, about a month and a half left before the season's over to really turn some heads. I would like the Hawks to keep losing some games so we keep that number one spot. At least get a top 3 draft pick. Maybe not number 1, but even top 3 in my book would be really good. So I'm hoping that happens. Let's move on to our next topic. WWE Elimination Chamber. Yes, that is tomorrow. And it is an early one if you're in the United States. If you're in Australia, where it is in Perth, then you know what? You're watching it at night like a normal pay-per-view. But if you're in the United States, it's going to be crazy. So let's go into some stuff about that really quick. The next stop on the road to WrestleMania is going to be Elimination Chamber. Of course, SmackDown is tonight, but some of you may have seen some spoilers already. That's because they were going to be in Australia this week, so they've pre-taped SmackDown from last week. So last week they filmed 2 SmackDowns, so the fans that were there got to see 2 tapings, the live and then a taped one for this week, so that's pretty cool. So the next big stop on the road to WrestleMania goes through Optus Stadium in Perth, Australia, and that is tomorrow, February 24th. If you're in the United States, it will start at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. So yes, we have to get up just like the people in the UK have to get up for our pay-per-views. We will get to see what it's like to be in the UK and watch a pay-per-view that early. Now, me, myself, I'm not getting up to watch that. I will watch it later in the day. I actually have my friend coming over, and he's going to watch it with me, and we're going to watch it at 5 at night. Because, honestly, we're not getting up that early. So I'm going to have to stay away from social media a little bit tomorrow so I don't see any major spoilers. You could watch it, of course, on Peacock anytime tomorrow from 5 a.m. Eastern all the way through the day if you want to watch it at night like a normal pay-per-view or in the afternoon. You can even get up and have an 11 o'clock brunch and watch it because it should be done, my guess is 3-4 hours. So if it starts at 5 a.m. Eastern, should be over by like 9 a.m. Eastern, probably. That's 4 hours. So yeah. So definitely check that out. Here's the matches for tomorrow. They did add a tag team match for the women's tag titles. The Kabuki Warriors are going to face Indy Hartwell and her partner. I don't even know who they are, honestly. They must be on with NXT or something because I never see them. But they're going to face it. Indy Hartwell is from Australia, so that's a big reason that she got thrown into that match. But here's the card for tomorrow during the main card. Only 4 matches are going to be on the card, that's all really you need because the 2 Elimination Chamber matches are at least going to be an hour apiece almost. So you got the Women's Elimination Chamber match, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, I heard that Raquel's name got changed now to Gonzalez. So that's something to watch tomorrow when they announce her. But Triple H did announce Gonzalez. So yes, I guess they changed her name. I don't understand name changes, especially with a normal name. I don't understand that. What's the point? But I am picking in this match, I think Becky Lynch wins. Honestly, I think her road to WrestleMania, she's going to want to be in the main title match. And I think her and Rhea Ripley will be amazing if that's how they go. We'll see what happens with that. But my pick tomorrow for that will be Becky Lynch. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match, the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Obviously, I think Judgment Day walks out with the tag titles. I don't think they lose it at Elimination Chamber. I think that they're going to lose it possibly at WrestleMania. But we'll talk more about that later on. But, before WrestleMania. Women's World Championship match, Rhea Ripley, the hometown girl. She's from Australia. She's going to get a huge ovation defending her title against Nia Jax. I'm going, obviously, with Rhea Ripley. I think Nia Jax is just thrown in there to put her in a match. They needed a big match for her. And who bigger than Nia Jax? Nia Jax is a good wrestler. And I think that it's going to be a decent one. And Rhea Ripley's going to get the big championship win in front of her home crowd. Men's Elimination Chamber match. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley versus L.A. Knight. Yeah. Versus Kevin Owens and versus Logan Paul. Every single person in this match could win. I'm going to pick Drew McIntyre, though, because of the storyline with him and Seth Rollins is going to be amazing. But now Seth Rollins is in 2 storylines going into WrestleMania. So it's going to be crazy. Seth Rollins is going to have a very big part in WrestleMania. We're going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, so I'm picking Drew McIntyre. I think he has the most to win in this because of his winning at WrestleMania during COVID. He didn't get in front of the crowd, and I do believe he does face Seth Rollins and beats him at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins is definitely taking some time off to heal some injuries after Mania. He's been a workhorse with that title, and he definitely deserves some time off. Now, the other big thing, and another hometown boy that's going to have a thing at Elimination Chamber is, of course, Australia's own Grayson Waller. The Grayson Waller effect is going to be live in Perth, Australia tomorrow with guests Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Will The Rock be there? We don't know. He made a funny speech the other day on his TikTok, and it kind of opened the door for him possibly being in Perth. But we'll see. But yes, they are going to be out there because The Rock did tell Grayson Waller and the referees and the fans that if Cody Rhodes and his little girlfriend Seth Rollins, classic Rock, go watch that on TikTok. Go follow Dwayne The Rock Johnson on TikTok. He is taking his character and moving it over to TikTok. It's great. He was wearing a Versace shirt and everything. And he did say on there, if Cody Rhodes and his little girlfriend make any comments about The Rock, he's going to get on a plane, and before that interview is over, he's going to show up in Perth and lay the smackdown. Could The Rock be there tomorrow? That's a possibility. Who knows? We won't know until that, but that Grayson Waller effect is going to be good, and that is where I believe Cody and Seth are going to lay down a challenge to The Rock and Roman for night 1 of WrestleMania. Now, if that happens, that means that Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins all will be wrestling twice. Because Roman, that weekend, night 1, I believe that they're going to kick off night 1 with Seth and Drew. I think Seth and Drew, or could they start with a tag team match with The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth? And then end the night with Cody with Seth losing. We already know night 2's main event is going to be Cody and Roman. They've already said it. Now, here's what I feel is going to happen. The Rock is going to turn on Roman at WrestleMania in night 2. He's going to help Cody win it by attacking the Bloodline. They are going to get involved, just like they always do. Jimmy Uso, Solo, and everybody's going to think The Rock's going to do it too. And he's not. He's going to end up turning on them. Unless they do something crazy with the Bloodline and bring in The Rock's daughter. And The Rock. Could you imagine the Bloodline being The Rock's daughter, The Rock, Roman, Jimmy Uso? Maybe Jey Uso turns back. Who knows? They could really go somewhere with this. It's going to be a crazy WrestleMania season. But this does lead to a tag team match at WrestleMania. I think The Rock and Roman taking on Cody and Seth night 1. And then Cody, of course, Seth is going to have to defend his title in night 1 also. So he's either going to have to kick off and end the show somehow. So I'm thinking Seth maybe loses to Drew. And then him and Cody win, so at least he gets the send-off of a win and a loss in one night, and then Cody the next night gets his big... I believe Cody's going to win that title, though. And that's going to lead to The Rock and Roman. Maybe The Rock's daughter comes down, and everybody thinks, oh my gosh, she's going to join the bloodline, and then her and The Rock turn on Roman together. It would be great. Father and daughter. Can you imagine that? Helping Cody win the title? You couldn't write a story ending like that. An ending to Cody's story and a new chapter beginning with Cody as a champion. Everybody said, what happens when a story ends? What happens if he wins? He starts a new chapter. He starts a new book. What do authors do when they write a book and it ends? They write another one. So his story, he will end the story, which is his dad never getting the title. Now he starts the story of him being the champion and doing what his father couldn't do. So that's what I believe is going to happen. All right, so tomorrow, don't forget to check out Elimination Chamber. It is early on the East Coast, 5 a.m., Central Time, 4 a.m. So if you're up that early, check it out. If not, check it out anytime during the day tomorrow. Of course, they'll be showing replays of it all day long on Peacock, so check that out. Now we're going to talk about the NBA All-Star Game. There was good and there was bad in it. And I'm going to talk about that right now. So last week was NBA All-Star Weekend. It was a weekend full of different events. You had the three-point contest, slam dunk contest, Rising Stars, Skills Challenge, Shooting Stars, G League All-Star Game. You had the All-Star Game MVPs. And then, of course, you had Steph Curry facing... I forgot what her name was. She's from the WNBA. And they had a three-point competition. Steph Curry won it. But it was really fun. And hopefully they bring it back and do something like that again. It was really cool. But let's kick it off with talking about the three-point contest really quick. Damian Lillard had an amazing game. Amazing weekend. He won the three-point contest for the second year in a row. He was amazing, just like he always is. So he was the winner of that, and that was his second time. He did it last year with the Trail Blazers, and then this year he did it as a Buck. So that was pretty amazing. So let's go on to the slam dunk competition. The slam dunk contest winner was, of course, back-to-back again, was Matt McClung, who did it last year and this year with the 76ers. He did win that back-to-back, which was amazing. That was good for him. I was excited for him. He was good. He had some good stuff, and he's G League. That's the crazy thing. He's a G League player. I was just like, what? How does that happen? But yeah, so let's go on to the next one. Rising Stars competition. Team Jalen won 26-13 over Team Detlef Schrempf. The MVP of that was Benedict Mahern from the Pacers. A hometown boy, because it was in Indianapolis, so it's cool that they got to see that. Skills Challenge, the winners of that was Team Pacers, so the Pacers fans got to see that were there, got to see their team represented and winning two of them, the Skills Contest and then the other one. But yeah, so Team Pacers won that one. That was a skills competition. Shooting Stars. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. So it doesn't say anything about this year. Yeah. Well, guess that don't matter. That's not on here. And then the G League All-Star Game was also that weekend. It's weird. It doesn't say anything about this year. So we'll just go on. And then let's cover the NBA All-Star Game. So the NBA All-Star Game this year, the MVP was Damian Lillard. So Damian Lillard won not only the three-point competition, but he was also the MVP of the All-Star Game. All-Star Game was won by the East 211-186. Come on, guys. And this has been talked about all over sports this whole week. Why do you even have an All-Star Game? I don't want to see a glorified horse game. Okay? I don't. I would take NFL flag football at the Pro Bowl over seeing no defense at all played in the NBA All-Star Game. Because at least in the flag football game, people were trying to defend. Even without pads on, they were at least trying to get there. They were making it look like a good game. This was pathetic. I don't want to see this ever again. This is horrible. I don't understand why the NBA does this. Like, why do you allow these players to go out and play no defense and just go and let them shoot around? It's a glorified shoot around. You can go to a Bulls practice and see this. Like, at least the practices for the teams probably play harder defense on each other than what we saw in that game. 2-11 should never happen in an NBA game, even the All-Star game. Come on, guys. What was the over-under on this game? Because it had to be way over. Next year, they're probably going to have the over-under of 400. Because, I mean, they put up 211 and 186. So, I mean, you're looking at 397 points between two teams. I did the math pretty quick on that, too. I was looking at it while I was talking. But, yeah, 397 points. So the over-under is probably going to be 400 next year. But this is pathetic. I hope that maybe next year these guys get together and say, you know what, let's watch some 90s film All-Star games. Let's play like they did. Let's go out there and have a good game and not get hurt. But let's go out there and have fun. But let's play hard against each other. Let's actually make this a real contest. Not just a glorified big shoot-around where everyone just shoots from half court and just does all this weird stuff. It really turned me off to wanting to watch an NBA All-Star game. And I wasn't even home for it. I work on Sunday, so I didn't get to see it live. I saw, like, just video of it, and even just watching the video made me sick to my stomach. Because I'm like, this is terrible. I don't want to see this kind of thing. I want to see teams go out there and play to win. But I'm happy for Damian Lillard getting to win the three-point competition, and then, of course, winning what's it called? Then he won the thing. So it was nice to see him win the MVP and the three-point competition. All right, let's move on now to something better than that crappy All-Star game. Frankie Muniz. If everybody remembers Frankie Muniz, he was from the show Malcolm in the Middle, and he's also been in other things too. And he was in his first ever race for NASCAR. He was in the Daytona 500. It was pretty cool to know that he was in there. I didn't get to see it because it was Monday night, because it got moved because of the rain. But yeah, he ended up finishing number 30 out of 35 cars. It's pretty good. But it says he's no rookie in a traditional sense. He's far older than the majority of drivers he's competing against. For example, he's double the age of Sammy Smith, the reigning Xfinity Series Rookie of the Year. So he is technically a rookie. But yeah, so he finished in the United Rentals 300 at the Daytona. He got caught in that 37 lap wreck, or that 37th lap of the 120 with that wreck, and he ended his race early, but he ended up finishing 33 out of 38, so not too bad for Frankie Muniz. I'm excited for him. I don't have results from the Daytona 500, but, hold on, let me look it up really quick. I'll tell you who won it. Alright, so the winner of the Daytona 500 was William Byron. He won it this year. So that's who won the Daytona 500, and that kicks off NASCAR season. And so I know all the NASCAR fans are excited. I watch it here and there. Not a huge fan of it, but I'll watch it when there's really not much on a Sunday, which right now with football being over, there really isn't much on. So yes, I will definitely watch it here and there when I can. But yeah, so I'm excited. Frankie Muniz, I hope he does pretty well this season. Obviously finishing 33rd out of 38. Not the greatest, but for a rookie actor who's now a NASCAR driver, not bad at all. I'm proud of him. So I used to watch Malcolm in the Middle. It was a pretty decent show. So let's move on now to the People's Choice Awards. Yes, here is the full list of winners. We'll go over this really quick. Lot of big stuff going on. Movie of the year went to Barbie. Other nominations for it was Fast 10, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Oppenheimer, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Taylor Swift The Eras Tour film, The Little Mermaid, and Super Mario Brothers movie, which I saw, which was really good. Let's see. Action movie of the year went to The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Let's see. The comedy movie of the year, Barbie. She beat out 80 for Brady and Cocaine Bear, which was really good. Wonka. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. So he beat out some good movies. Drama movie of the year, Oppenheimer. Of course, he beat out Creed 3. Megan, Scream 6, The Color Purple, which is actually now on Peacock, I believe you can watch it. Or no, HBO Max, sorry. You can watch it on there. Oppenheimer you can watch on Peacock, though. I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch it. It's supposed to be a really good movie. Obviously, it did win a People's Choice Award. The reason I like the People's Choice over the Oscars is because it's voted on by the people, and it's not just movies, it's music, it's TV, it's everything. So I like it. Female movie star of the year, the beautiful and sexy Margot Robbie. Love her. She is one of my favorite actresses of all time. She beat out Halle Berry from The Little Mermaid, Florence Pugh from Oppenheimer, Jenna Ortega from Scream 6, Julia Roberts from Leave the World Behind. So she beat out some good ones in that one. Action movie star of the year was Rachel Zegler from The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Beat out Brie Larson, Chris Pratt, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise. Beat out some good ones. Comedy movie star of the year was Jennifer Lawrence for No Hard Feelings. She beat out Adam Sandler. Glenn Powell, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Scarlett Johansson. So she beat out some good ones. The drama movie star of the year, good for her. I love Jenna Ortega from Scream 6. That was awesome. She beat out Fantasia Barrino, Leonardo DiCaprio, Michael B. Jordan, and Julia Roberts in that category. Movie performance of the year was America Ferrera for Barbie. Other nominations, she beat out Daniel Brooks from The Color Purple, Melissa McCartney from The Little Mermaid, Natalie Portman, and Viola Davis from the movie Air. That's the Michael Jordan movie. It was a good one. And then alright, now in the TV section of this, we got the show of the year went to Grey's Anatomy, beat out Law & Order SVU, Only Murderers in the Building, SNL, Ted Lasso, The Bear, The Last of Us, and Vanderpump Rules. Comedy show of the year went to Only Murders in the Building, beat out shows like Abbott Elementary, Saturday Night Live, Ted Lasso, The Bear, and Young Sheldon. The drama show of the year, The Last of Us, and they beat out The Morning Show, Succession, Law & Order SVU, Grey's Anatomy, and Chicago Fire, which I was hoping they would win for that one. Sci-fi fantasy show of the year went to Loki. It beat out some shows like The Mandalorian, Secret Invasion, Ghosts, Black Mirror, American Horror Story. Reality show of the year was The Kardashians. Boo! They beat out Jersey Shore, Family Vacation, 90 Day Fiancé, and The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and of New Jersey, and they beat Vanderpump Rules. Best competition show of the year went to The Voice. Beat out RuPaul's Drag Race, Dancing with the Stars, American Idol, America's Got Talent, and Survivor. Binge-worthy show of the year went to The Summer I Turned Pretty, and that beat out Beef, Jury Duty, Love is Blind, Queen Charlotte, The Bridgerton Story, beat out some good ones, and The Crown. Male TV star of the year went to Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us. He beat out Samuel L. Jackson, Steve Martin, and Jason Sudeikis. And also Karen Culkin from Succession. Female TV star of the year went to Selena Gomez for Only Murders in the Building. She beat out Reese Witherspoon on The Morning Show, Rosario Dawson, Mariska Hargitay, Jennifer Aniston, and Ali Wong from the show Beef. The comedy TV star of the year was Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. He beat out Steve Martin, Selena Gomez from Only Murders in the Building, Quintina Brunson, Jason Sudeikis, Bowen Yang from SNL, and Ali Wong from Beef. The drama TV star of the year was Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show. Good for her. She's great in that show. She beat out, which I'm sad because I love her, Mariska Hargitay from Law & Order SVU, Ice-T from Law & Order SVU, and she also beat out Karen Culkin and Reese Witherspoon also. TV Performance of the Year went to Billie Eilish for Swarm. That's amazing. I love Billie Eilish, and I'm glad she won for something just besides music. That's really cool too. She beat out, Meryl Streep, Stephen Yeun from Beef, and Storm Reed from The Last of Us. Reality TV Star of the Year went to Khloe Kardashian. She beat her sister Kim Kardashian. Mike the Situation Sorrentino from Jersey Shore. Kyle Richards from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's it. I don't know any of these other ones. Competition Contestant of the Year went to Adriana Maddox from Dancing with the Stars. She beat out Anthrantra from RuPaul's Drag Race. And Keke Palmer from That's My Jam. So she beat out some good ones there. Daytime Talk Show of the Year went to The Kelly Clarkson Show. She beat out The View, Today, The Jennifer Hudson Show, Drew Barrymore Show, and Live with Kelly and Mark, and Good Morning America. Nighttime Talk Show of the Year, yes, it went to The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. That's amazing. I love it. He beat out The Daily Show, The Last Show with Stephen Colbert, Late Night with Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel Live. He beat out all the good ones. Host of the Year, again, Jimmy Fallon, That's My Jam. That's awesome. He beat out American Idol, Celebrity Family Feud. So he beat out Ryan Seacrest, Steve Harvey, Terry Crews from America's Got Talent, RuPaul, and Gordon Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen. That's amazing. In the music categories, the Male Artist of the Year for People's Choice was Jungkook. He beat out Bad Bunny and Drake and Jake Harlow, Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, and The Weeknd. Female Artist of the Year went to Taylor Swift, who beat out Olivia Rodrigo, Nicki Minaj, Miley Cyrus, Lainey Wilson, Karol G, Doja Cat, and Beyonce. Male Country Artist of the Year went to Jelly Roll. He deserved it. He beat out Kane Brown and Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, Zach Brown, Chris Stapleton, and Hardy. Female Country Artist of the Year went to Lainey Wilson, who beat out Kelsey Ballerini, Gabby Barrett, Carrie Underwood, Carly Pearce, Ashley McBride, and Shania Twain. Male Latin Artist of the Year went to Bad Bunny. He beat out a bunch of guys who, a lot of them I can't even say their name. Latin Female Artist of the Year went out to Shakira. I love Shakira. Her hips don't lie. She beat out Karol G, Becky G, Anita, Angelina Aguilera, and Young Miko. Pop Artist of the Year went to Taylor Swift. She beat out Tate McRae, Olivia Rodrigo, Miley Cyrus, Jungkook, Dua Lipa, Doja Cat, and Billie Eilish. Hip Hop Artist of the Year went to Nicki Minaj, who beat out Post Malone, Travis Scott, Latto, Jake Harlow, Future, Drake, and Cardi B. R&B Artist of the Year went to Beyonce won it. She beat out SZA, Janelle Monáe, The Weeknd, Usher, Victoria Monet. New Artist of the Year went to Ice Spice, who beat out Jelly Roll, Jungkook, Noah Kahan, Pink Panthers, and Stefan Sanchez. Group and Duo of the Year went to Stray Kids, who beat out Tomorrow X Together, Paramore, Old Dominion, Jonas Brothers, and Dan and Shay. Song of the Year went to Vampire, Olivia Rodrigo. She beat out Morgan Wallen, Doja Cat for their songs. Let's see. Album of the Year went to Olivia Rodrigo for Guts. She actually beat out some good ones too. Best Collab Song of the Year went to Barbie World, Nicki Minaj, and Ice Spice with Aqua. They won that one. Concert Tour of the Year. I mean, do you even need to know the answer to this? It was Taylor Swift. That girl is still on tour and still making billions of dollars. It's insane. Good for her, though. I love Taylor Swift. That's awesome. I'm glad. March 15th, I think her Eras Tour concert goes to either Peacock or one of those. I'll have the announcement on that coming up in next week, because I'll have all the March and April releases, or March releases for the different places. Netflix, all that stuff. It's going to be a fun little list. I'll just do the top shows that are coming and leaving. And pop culture, the social celebrity of the year went to Taylor Swift. She beat out some good ones. Britney Spears, Dwayne Johnson, Kim Kardashian, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, and Selena Gomez. Comedy Act of the Year went to Chris Rock for Selective Outrage, where he talked about the slap heard around the world. That was awesome. Athlete of the Year went to Travis Kelce. Him and Taylor didn't get to be there, though, because they were on their way to Australia for her tour, so they didn't get to go, but they were there in spirit, and they won together. The couple that wins awards together stay together. And that was the People's Choice Awards for 2024. Oh my God! If you have a chance, go check out Adam Sandler. He got the award for Icon of the Year, and his speech was amazing. Jennifer Aniston, who's been in a few big movies with him, was the one that inducted him for that award. But yeah, he deserves it. Icon of the Year. It's like a Lifetime Achievement Award. The dude has been around for decades. So make sure you go check that out. His speech was hilarious. He was funny as always. And then he ended on just, nice note to his family and stuff. But it was great. Go check it out on YouTube. Just put Adam Sandler People's Choice Awards and it'll pop up. Jennifer Aniston also did an awesome intro to him too. So yeah, go check that out. Last thing I want to talk about, let me find it really quick, and then we will talk about it, is an amazing concert tour that's going to be in Kentucky. Definitely check it out. I'm going to go through a list of who's going to be there each day. You're going to want to buy tickets to this. They should hire me as a sponsor. I'm going to sell them a lot of tickets for this. I should become like, they should become like a sponsor with me and pay me for this, and give me like 4 free tickets and everything for this, because this is going to be an amazing weekend. It is going to be September 26th and 29th. It's called Larger Than Life 2024. It's on the Highland Festival grounds in Kentucky Exposition Center in Louisville. Listen to this lineup. It's a Thursday through Sunday event. It's like Lollapalooza, but for all rock and metal. Okay, listen to this concert. Thursday night, I'm going to read off just the main ones, okay, because I don't know all of them. Like, some people might know the other ones, but whatever. I'm going to go over the main ones. These are the ones that are going to sell the tickets. The headliner is going to be Slipknot that night. The other ones, Offspring, Seether, Five Finger Death Punch, Hailstorm, Sum 41. These are just the big ones. There's a bunch of other ones, too. It's like a whole day thing. Okay, so that's night 1. That's Thursday night. Night 2, Friday, headliner is going to be Slayer. Okay, the rest of the bands, what is, I don't even know who this one is. Anthrax, Blackstone Cherry, Evanescence, Fozzy. So if you're a big Chris Jericho fan, there you go. Go see Fozzy there. They're really good, actually. That's what I heard. I never got to see Fozzy before live, so I don't know. But my brother-in-law saw him, and he knew that guy was a wrestler, Chris Jericho, because he doesn't really watch wrestling, but he's seen it, and he said they were awesome. He said they're great. So, yeah, Fozzy's going to be there. I'm seeing if there's any other big ones. I mean, there's a lot, and these are all known bands, but they might not be known by everybody. Power Man 5000 is another big one. These are ones that I would see. There's a bunch of other ones, so go check it out. That's Friday night. Saturday, headliner, Motley Crue. The rest of the ones, Falling in Reverse, Dropkick Murphys, Seven Dust, Filter, Disturbed, Chevelle, Skillet, P.O.D. These are ones that I grew up with. 3-6 Mafia, which it's like when Ice Cube goes to some of these things. But it's cool to see. But they don't really belong, but it's cool, and people like 3-6 Mafia, so they'll like them regardless. And that's it for that day. That's the big ones. And then the ending, listen to this. This is the last night of it. The headliner is Korn. Listen to the rest. Breaking Benjamin, Spirit Box, Judas Priest, Stained, Architects, Saliva, Drowning Pool, Taproot, Gender, Polaris, Biohazard, Sponge. These are all big acts, and they're all going to be there that weekend. So go check it out. Go get your tickets. I believe there should already be on sale if they name the whole list. So make sure that you go check that out. As soon as they release the list for Lollapalooza, and there's one in September that's here. I forgot what it's called. I think it's in Douglas Park. But I'll be going over all those big concert tours in the next few months when they get them. As well as some local bands that I like when they release some of their summer stuff. Because I know if you're in the Illinois area, you pretty much have heard of Seventh Heaven, Simple Band, stuff like that. You've heard of those ones. And they go to a lot of big fests. That's another thing. If you're in the Illinois area, I'm going to be releasing fests that are going to be in the Illinois area this year. So I'll be doing stuff on that. It's going to be a fun spring coming up. I mean, we only have a month left of winter. I mean, that's it. And I'm literally sitting in my garage recording this outside with the garage door open. It's in the 40s, but it feels like it's warmer. It's great. So yeah, definitely check that out. Go online and check out that Kentucky Fest. It's really cool. It's called Louder Than Life. Go check that out because, yeah, definitely you want to get tickets to a concert like that. Next week, we're going to have some fun on the show. We're going to talk more NFL news. We're going to talk about different things in sports. There's not a lot of sports going on right now. Nothing good. I know The Rock starts his new league. I'll have the results from Elimination Chamber. And then, of course, Oscars are coming up, I believe, in March, so we'll be talking about those soon. Almost forgot my top 10 list. This is in honor of WWE doing their Elimination Chamber this week. My top 10 WWE wrestlers of all time. Okay, so like we always do, this is my list. This isn't a list that's already done. These are picked by me. If you disagree, you can email me down below in my the thing that tells about my show. All my information's in there. You could follow me on all the social medias. You could email me any ideas, your top 10 list, and if you give me a good email, I'll read it online. I had a hater that keeps emailing me. He don't really like me, but he listens to the show. So that's okay. Keep hating, hater. I'm not going to even give your name out because you're just a giant hater, but it's cool. But here we go. My top 10 WWE wrestlers of all time. Number 10, Roman Reigns. Number 9, Warrior. Number 8, John Cena. That's a shock. I think a lot of people would think John Cena would be top 5, but he's actually not to me. Number 7, Chris Jericho. These are older and current, so it's not just now. Let's see. Number 6, Hulk Hogan. Number 5 is The Rock. Number 4, Triple H. Number 3 is HBK. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And my number 1 favorite wrestler of all time is The Undertaker. A lot of people would think that in my top 5 would be John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold would be number 1 or number 2, or he is number 2. But honestly, The Undertaker was always my favorite. I love The Undertaker. From the day he debuted with the weird bags under his eyes, all red and stuff, it was awesome. Triple H comes before The Rock for me. I always loved Triple H. I always play the game. HBK, Mr. WrestleMania, always in my top 3. Bret the Hitman Hart would be probably, if you're saying, where's Bret Hart? He'd be probably number 11 or 12 on the list. He was a whiner. He was a crybaby. I wasn't a big fan of his that way. I love Bret Hart at certain points in his career, but not his whole career. I love Triple H as a bad guy. I love HBK as a bad guy, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker when they were bad, Hulk Hogan as Hollywood Hogan, Jericho, John Cena as a heel. He was awesome. Bret Hart was whiny and crybaby-ish. I didn't like it. So that's my list. Let me know what your list is. I will see everybody next week. The show is almost 70 minutes long. I'll see everybody next week. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm also going to have the top 30 villains of TV next week, so we're going to have some fun with that. And I'm going to tell you what's coming to Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, and all that in the month of March. So we'll talk about that next week, too. I will see everybody next week. Stay safe, stay out there, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't die. I'll see everybody next week. Peace.